Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about the Hollywood exodus to Texas. The Texodus?
Texodus, yeah.
The Texodus. So a couple of days ago, we did a video talking about how Hollywood A-listers are basically begging for productions to stay in Los Angeles. And we had a bunch of Hollywood celebrities being like, hey, we need to rebuild. We need to, really bring production back to the state of California. And apparently not all of Hollywood is on board with it, because Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson, who may or may not be brothers, they actually put this spot out there on social media that they are pushing for more productions to move to Texas, and they're joined by a bunch of other celebrities as well. So oopsie doopsie, this is not going to bode well because I think the financial incentives definitely outweigh the incentive to stay in California, especially with it being such a shit show right now. Mm-hmm. Not just the fires, but like a literal shit show, like literally shit on the street.
Yeah, that's right.
So we're going to talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You will get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
Go out to clownfishminus.com. Help support the reef, guys. Thank you very much in advance. You can also join here on YouTube and locals. And so I'm not going to run the whole spot because I don't know if I'm going to get zapped for it or not. But Matthew McConaughey on his Twitter put this up, and he is joined by Dennis Quaid, Woody Harrelson, Billy Bob Thornton, Renee Zellweger. They were kind of revisiting, I guess, True Detectives. Let me see here if I can get this going. Yeah, it's going to idle. It's X Video. X Video is fantastic. Trust me, bro. There they are. So, yeah, it's really interesting. 2.7 million views on this. And I don't think Hollywood's going to be very happy. Now, Hollywood, of course, isn't going to be on X.
No, that's true. They'll be on Blue Sky.
They're going to be on Blue Sky, I'm sure, bitching about it. Actually, we should go check that. Maybe I'll check that here in a little bit. But here's what's going on. This is coming from Rolling Stone. Matthew McConaughey, Woody Harrelson reprise True Detective roles, push for Texas-based productions. They call for more Hollywood productions filmed in Texas following the state Senate's $498 million proposal to revamp the Texas film incentive. And this, again, flies directly in the face of LA trying to get everything to stay in LA.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It's like, it doesn't need to stay in LA.
It doesn't need to.
It's already not staying in LA.
No. And that's the thing. Like, it does not need to stay in LA. I think to actually have more if you want true diversity, right? If you want more quote unquote diverse stories, then we need to have diverse production locations. We need to have, and this is what we're hoping for animation too, that it's going to break out of just being an LA thing and kind of go all over the country out of necessity. And I would love to see pockets of, movie productions all over the country. And now people pointed out that they're talking mostly about Austin. And they said, you can't go by Austin because Austin's basically a little bit of LA and a little bit of Portland in Texas. But it's pretty interesting. They actually roasted California. They said, with Dennis Quaid handcuffed in the backseat, the trio make proposals to create Hollywood films, TV shows, music videos, and commercials in Texas, calling Hollywood a tuneless, flat circle of wood. McConaughey calls for a film and TV production shift. So I don't think he signed the stay in LA. Did he?
Probably not. No. But they said that their Senate is trying to be like almost $500 million, revamp for the film initiative.
Oh, yeah.
Film incentive. That's what they're calling it. Film incentive.
Yeah. And so's Nevada. And so's, I think, Arizona. And a lot of other states are opening things up. So they go on to say this industry is like somebody's memory of an industry, and the whole memory is fading. Ooh. Says McConaughey. I'm talking about a whole new hub for film and television, a renaissance, a rebirth. And yeah, here's what they're talking about. The Texas Senate announced last week it's going to direct $498 million to revamp the Texas film incentive with the aim of making the state the movie capital of the world. Interesting. Small films and TV commercials will receive $48 million in grants and the state's going to receive $450 million in new tax credits, which will include a Texas residency requirement for workers. So they have to move to Texas. You can't carpet bag. And
you can't just be flown in and leave. Yeah.
Right. Because it's not that far. I mean, it really isn't that far to fly into Texas.
It's kind of ways, but yeah, the fly.
Texas gets $4 back for every $1 invested in the state, creating new jobs. The Senate said other Hollywood performers and directors have pushed for Texas. Quaid, Tyler Sheridan, Renee Zellweger. It's hard to tell. Billy Bob Thornton. I've been hotel hopping in all these other states for way too long, says Zellweger. And I get it. I mean, making a production is hard. And if all these other states are going to offer an incentive, then that's where we're going to keep going. I just wish we could bring some of these productions home to Texas. This is I think this is it for Hollywood being the hub.
I agree.
Of the entertainment business. And the fires, they're horrible. And I'm definitely not happy about anyone losing their homes or whatever. But I think that was kind of the signal because at this point it's probably cheaper to just move production someplace else for so many reasons than it is to try to rebuild everything. And a lot of people are going to leave because it's going to be years until they can get their houses rebuilt.
A lot of celebrities already did. Obviously these people did, but they wait till they make it, they stay there till they make it, and then they all flee and go someplace else and just come to California to film. A whole bunch of them. If they're not in Utah, Nevada, Texas,
Harrison
some people,
Ford. I think he's in Wyoming or Montana or something.
Yeah, I know some of them were living up on the 95 corridor down on the East Coast for a while, in the Carolinas and stuff too. And it's if they don't need to be in California unless they're working, and a lot of times they get sent someplace else anyway. Why be there? Because it's kind of like a shithole. Sorry, no offense to people from California, but I'm just it's just a purity test upon purity test, and it's just.
Yeah, it's really changed. I mean, Southern California has always been different than Northern California. But again, for those who don't know, I spent half my childhood in Northern California. I loved it back then. I thought it was great, but that was in the 80s and 90s. It's very different than it is now. I don't recognize the state now. It's crazy. It's crazy. Now, the downside to this, though, is if you are living in Texas and you don't like the Hollywood mentality, and all the Hollywood people start moving to Texas, then there could be a problem. Now, I've been told again not to single out Austin. I've never been to Austin, but I've had people tell me that Austin is sort of the quarantine zone for people that are more progressive. But I could see that happening statewide. And then it's basically just California 2.0. But
that could happen, which is, at that point, nothing's changing really,
California used to be fairly conservative. It did, except for LA, and Berkeley and stuff like that. But the whole state used to be, because you had a lot of farmers and you had a lot of people that moved out there for business, to start businesses. And they did used to be a lot more conservative. That's why Reagan came from California. Schwarzenegger lived in California, was governor of California. But things are changing. So they're going to have to do something. Newsom's going to have to do something pretty damn quick, or these other states are going to.
Well, other countries are already pulling them out all the time. You know?
Yeah. So that is it. I think this is it for Hollywood and California. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this one up. It's going to be very interesting to watch this. So please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.